Hello, brothers and sisters, fellow Equatorians. This is Sabata with the Equatoria Advocacy Foundation. Today, I would like to come out and discuss with you matters on the fact that right now governors have been appointed for the states that fall in the equatorial area. Now, the Equatoria Advocacy Foundation, of course, does not agree with the process because it is pretty much more of an appointment. So we are having more of a situation where the people do not have any saying as far as whom they want for their governor. But of course, the SPLM is pretty much imposing whom they want to govern those political demographics, the states that they have drawn in South Sudan. And of course, this is pretty much an execution of a deal that has been reached in 2018 with some what used to be called estranged groups. But of course, right now, they have formed what is called the Revitalized Transitional Government of National Unity. So they are basically executing the deal. So the process itself is very undemocratic. The Equatoria Advocacy Foundation does not, of course, support such kind of processes, but it has been decided, and what the Equatoria Advocacy Foundation would say is congratulations to the three governors of the Central, Eastern, and Western Equatoria. The fact that right now these state governors have been formed, the Equatoria Advocacy Foundation would want to appeal to these governors to establish what is called a cooperative link between them and the diaspora. Equatorians who are in diaspora are part and parcel of the Equatorians whom they represent back in South Sudan. It's only that these Equatorians who are in diaspora are in diaspora. But the Equatoria Advocacy Foundation appeals to these governors to form this cooperative link, especially with the Equatorians who are in the United States of America. I would wish that would be extended also to those in Canada and those in Australia, so that these Equatorians who are out here would also participate on having their opinions legislated as way of life in the equatorial area. Equatorial area has been undergoing so many challenges, and it's high time that we, the Equatorians who are in diaspora, and the governing personnels or officials who are basically governing the states of the equatorial areas kind of come into a dialogue, into a conversation on how we would want that territories to be administered. It is good to also hear from the people. The Equatoria Advocacy Foundation is not naive to believe that this is easy, given you are you the governors are appointed by the president. The president would want you, of course, to be there as good boys and execute his agenda over or upon the people, whether the people would like it or not. But also try your best not to be very afraid, given you are appointed by the president and the president is going to pay you with eventually people's resources. But of course, that's not how it's perceived there. It is perceived that this is the money that belongs to the government. In other words, it belongs to the president. My understanding is money in South Sudan even doesn't sit in central bank. It sits in the president's residence, which is a little crazy, but these are rumors. I don't know if that's true, but if it's true, it's very unfortunate. Please try to balance, you the governors, try to balance your fear. Do not give in all and kind of ignore what the people of Equatoria, the challenges that they are having. Try not to ignore those kind of challenges, but try to see into it that you balance your fear that you're going to be putting towards the person who have appointed you to those positions, and try to establish this cooperative link with us here in Diaspora. And before I say how that could be formed, how that could be established, I would like to basically justify my claim when I said that we are going through tough times, especially in the equatorial area. Now, over a period of time, when there were no governors presiding in these states, there had been some challenges. There had been some influx of people from Bor who have come in with their cattle and found themselves a place to make themselves comfortable in Lobonok and also in Pageri and some areas in Kajukeji. And there has also been very, very deteriorating security in the areas of Mukwaya, starting on the 5th May, and many citizens have been displaced. And I would like to just play this for an evidence. This is something that's already being published, and all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to justify onto the claim that I've just said. And imagine you are a governor coming in. Imagine you are a governor coming in when your people are undergoing such kind of situation. This is in one of the bombers.
My name is Silvano Yokwe Alson. I'm here at Lokurubang. Lokurubang is one of the areas that falls under Lanya County of the Central Equatorial State. And the recent fight that erupted between the South Sudan's People's Defense Forces and the National Salvation Front forces led to massive displacement of civilians. And Lokurubang has actually witnessed a number of people in this area. And I want to talk to them actually what happened and what are their needs.
Isimia Morris Yanga Eleda. Ana executive ship to Lokurubang Puma. Ana Sultanini Algaino Lagati Jebel Dak Bumbiri Lagati Bagati Lerujangu de Gulu Mahal Beta da Lokurubang Puma. Ana Musu Ulmin Nas de Kulu. Hajal Hasal Pe خمسة صار خمسة حاجة مؤسف شديد لأن الجيش بتاع حكومة طالع من مناطق بتومن وطالع فات بكاريا مسافة قريب 20 مايل وحاجة اللي هم نعملوا هناك عملوا خطأ شديد جدا هرقوا بيوت ناس وسيلوا حاجات بتاع ناس وسيلوا توريات وسيلوا جدادات وسيلوا غنمات وسيلوا حاجات مهمات بتاع ناس كله مهمات بتاع ناس كله تا مواطنين ده هم كله لموا كنتوا في عربات هم بدبوا ونحن بقى معرف هل حكومة ده إذا كان بقى حكومة يا بقى بعمل كده والناس اللي بقى ما جسارة ده بقى بعمل كيف لأن زول الحكومة ده مفروض هو يا حماية بتاع مواطنين لكن مواطنين ده حكومة يا بمشي هناك وبقاتلوا المواطنين ده هل المواطنين ده عنده محل أننا بخطوا فوقه كان نوس بتاع سما وأرض ده في نوس هنا في حاجة جدا بس جدلقيم نكان قبضوا مواطنين ده كله نكان ودي فوق لكن نحن أسيبين وحكومة من في يوم الأمم عملوا كلام ده لقد حتى الآن أمم ذاته ما عارف kan nas del wen kan nas de gakolo kan nas de gasoro kan nas de da uman besi ruwa fi gaba enak wa amalu kharab uman fat fi mahalat da bitom bara bara de haja ali khallina nehna kaja muwatnin wa muwatnin biga tabanin wa muwatnin biga الحملانين تعبانين باقين فقدوا إيال وباقين ضوء وصل ودعوات ما في ومويه ما في الباسروبو.
أنا اسم تايلر دا بيستا ينو بن. أنا جينا من قبائنا جينا بالحرب. حاجة الحصل منا نادي كاب سديد. يوم خمسة دي أنا قاعدين نوم ودا بليل أنا بس جا كلا صوتا سلا بعد أسلا هقوم كوري سديد ناس بيجا تالا برا دي ليجو كلا سحارب بعد أنا معروف دي ناس منو بشكل دي أنا معروف يا حرب بيجا كاب سديد أنا جرينا في كور أنا نوم في كور ثلاثة يوم حرب لسه ماشين قدام وصلوا ما في حاجة البيجا إننا باكل في كورناك طبعا جول كان قوم حتى كان بقوماس إذا بس بيجري بقوماس دي كان قوم بدو جينا دي إذا بيسيلو ساكت بدون حاجة يا أنا ينو جدي تاب بيجا في كورناك ما في حاجة الباكلو ما في حاجة التبكاتبو يا سباب بدري أنا جاس مغالي إذا كم جيجيني جدي خلاص جي كاتولوناس يا قومنا جا لحد في القربان أنا جينا لحد في القربان هنا أنا وصل في القربان أنا سيبو بيوت أنا كله ما في أي حاجة لنا جيبو أنا جينا ساكت زيدي يا ناس القربان وريلنا قال أكو تكون را يا أنا أكو درا ما في حاجة لنا باكل طبعا يا عشان كده تجارة تلانيا ومنلمو دقيق rasul lenna jasada anna de gidde zato ma fa haja lenna biraka bubo taban jinna sakit be danna sakit zede ya nastanin bisada anna be hala ya anna ba prugumedi da denna asanna indu arba ya mole kamsa ya.
Yeah, I'm just trying to push the video further.
Pangyo nyenu rijengu okosulu bidana na sotakene na idababa kata anu keni tena lagadi ngini lanya ibolis imu na dukeni nyini anakero lunguni nyiro lyo aditina tena tela peko ya anani ba kero langira la soloji andona ne ba ak soloji chonga na ni jibitalia mwana kangu kona kena nkunu jesi sale pala kona kena nan ba kule mutulu laga woli kukolo bidana binan keba.
So brothers and sisters, fellow Equatorians and the appointed governors, when you all these atrocities, by the way, happened in the central Equatoria, and eastern Equatoria also has challenges. Western Equatoria also has challenges. So if you are appointed a governor with a head of state whose security sector could go out and treat citizens like this, then you are in a very, very awkward position, because as a governor you are expected to be there to look unto the interest of your people and see how you can resolve their problems, and see how also you can inject projects here and there to see into it that they grow as far as their economic activities, and socio-culturally they do better. Their children gets to go to school, and everybody gets to live happy. But if you get appointed to a governor seat by a head of state whose security sector sometimes carry such kind of atrocities to citizens, you are in a very awkward position. And that is why it's very important that we from the Equatorial people all participate to have a dialogue and to discuss with you, the governors, and tomorrow, next tomorrow, even with our legislative representatives. I could have, the Equatorial Advocacy Foundation could have actually prioritized discussion or cooperative link with legislative branch, but of course the way our people are running the administration there, they run it in such a way that the legislatures are pretty much there, but without any voice or no powers to carry out or execute policies. But you, the governors, we Equatorians do have expectations. Equatorians from Central Equatoria, from Eastern Equatoria, from Western Equatoria are having challenges, and we are having expectations that you meet or kind of resolve. And we can do that when we establish this cooperative link and have this dialogue. And of course, this will also demand, this will also require that the Equatorians who are in diaspora also get their acts together through what is called, they can do what is called teleconferences and kind of coordinate issues of concern. They can caucus, Central Equatoria, Western Equatoria, and Eastern Equatoria can caucus by themselves and also induce transparency between or amongst them and communicate to their governors. And if the governors are okay with forming this cooperative link, let us have this bridge, this communication, so that we'll address these issues of broken insecurity, like as you might have heard these citizens complaining what has been done to them, and also influx of cattle riders who have come and are well armed in the areas of Pageri and areas of Lobonok and some areas of Kajukeji. Let us discuss and see how to resolve those issues, because those are issues that down the road would continue to inflict insecurity in those equatorial territories, and there is no way we could turn our backs on them, or else I would not understand why then you would want to be governors in those territories of the equatorial states, unless you just want to go and become a governor so that eventually you get as much money as possible and establish or enrich yourself as an individual in order to take care of your family. If that is your intention, then it's very unfortunate. But if you have desired to become a governor because you feel you have people and you want to basically help your people with their aspiration and help them also with inducing proper governance in their territories, then it's best that we form this link. So this is that. And for my fellow brothers who are in diaspora, let's also put our acts together. We can come together and through what is called Equatoria dialogue, or Equatoria to Equatoria dialogue, or through what is called Equatoria, we can always form what is called teleconferences and see into it how we can address those problems that are affecting our people back in the states within the equatorial area. This is very important, by the way, and that's how we can foster or we can participate in order to bring peace, we who are in diaspora here. And I have done a video before, and I said that when in a democratic society, unfortunately we are not, But even though we are not, we can still inject ways by which voices of the people can be heard. The people themselves, that's the only way people participate in what is called democratic process. The people caucus, the people come together, they discuss, and they take their voices to their governors for some legislative principles that will eventually, hopefully, solve some of the problems that they have. And that, of course, will start with dialogue. This is that. And of course, I've said, I know very well that this is not going to be easy. And I did advise the 3 governors to kind of balance their fear and realize that they are there, governors of the people. It's very unfortunate that they are being appointed. We would wish we are living in a country where the people basically elect their governors. Hopefully down the road this will improve, but as far as now is concerned, we know this government that we are living through is a government that is pretty much brought into existence by a deal, and if it demands that the president gets to appoint all what is called civil servants, or all individuals who are going to occupy seats of what is called governing structures. It is very unfortunate, but that is the situation. So it's nothing we could do with the Equatorial Advocacy Foundation, but only to say, let us try to navigate around that. Let us try to maneuver around that and see into it that we work together cooperatively to mitigate some of the problems that our people are facing. I will not take long. This is the short message that I would like to share with these appointed governors. Congratulations for your appointments, and God bless you. Stay safe and take care of yourself from COVID-19, and that applies also to all Equatorians who are in diaspora, and including brothers and sisters who are at home. Thank you very much, and God bless you.